Ethiopia's Industrial Awakening, a nation on the move. Ethiopia's Industrial Awakening is one of the most compelling stories of economic transformation in Africa. In recent years, the nation has embraced industrialization as a central pillar of its development strategy, aiming to transition from an agrarian economy to a more diversified, industrialized one. Driven by visionary leadership, strategic government policies, significant infrastructure investments, and increasing foreign direct investment (FDI), Ethiopia is rapidly becoming one of Africa's most promising industrial hubs. This journey of transformation is marked by impressive achievements, challenges, and a forward-looking vision for the future. Here's a deeper exploration of how Ethiopia is experiencing its industrial awakening. 1. Visionary leadership and governance. At the heart of Ethiopia's industrial renaissance is its leadership, spearheaded by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and the broader political leadership of the Ethiopian People's Revolutionary Democratic Front, EPRDF, which was followed by a shift in policy after Abiy's administration took office in 2018. Abiy's government has focused on turning Ethiopia into a manufacturing powerhouse, leveraging its strategic location, growing labor force, and strong historical foundations. The Growth and Transformation Plan, GTP. Ethiopia's journey toward industrialization is guided by the Growth and Transformation Plan, GTP, which spans several phases, with the ultimate goal of making Ethiopia a middle-income economy by 2025. The GTP emphasizes infrastructure development, industrialization, and export-led growth. It is aligned with Ethiopia's goal of diversifying its economy, which has traditionally been dominated by agriculture, into one based on manufacturing, services, and technology. Vision 2030. Ethiopia's Vision 2030 aims to create a robust industrial base, increasing its manufacturing contribution to GDP. This plan includes investments in key sectors like textiles, footwear, agribusiness, and electronics. Vision 2030 envisions Ethiopia becoming a leading industrial player in Africa, generating jobs and reducing poverty. 2. Government policies supporting industrialization. The Ethiopian government has implemented a range of policies to create a favorable environment for industrial growth. These policies focus on infrastructure development, tax incentives, trade facilitation, and the creation of industrial parks, among other initiatives. Industrial parks and special economic zones. The government has set up industrial parks across the country to attract foreign and local investors in manufacturing. These parks, such as the Hawassa Industrial Park, Bol-Lemi Industrial Park, and Dukum Industrial Park, focus on sectors like textiles, apparel, leather, and manufacturing of electronics. These parks offer favorable tax breaks, duty-free importation of raw materials, and excellent infrastructure, making them attractive to global manufacturers. Tax incentives in trade agreements. To attract foreign investment, Ethiopia has offered various tax incentives to investors. The country's Ethiopian Investment Commission, EIC, works to attract FDI by offering reduced corporate tax rates, exemptions on machinery imports, and preferential treatment in land allocation for factories. Ethiopia has also entered into multiple trade agreements, including the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, to open new markets for its products. Export-led growth strategy. Ethiopia's government has heavily emphasized an export-oriented industrialization strategy. Through initiatives like the Ethiopian Export and Import Bank, the government has worked to bolster exports, particularly in manufacturing sectors. With products like textiles, apparel, and leather goods, Ethiopia aims to position itself as an export powerhouse in the region. 3. Infrastructure development. Infrastructure development has been crucial to Ethiopia's industrial awakening. The country has heavily invested in its physical and technological infrastructure to create a conducive environment for industrialization. Roads, railways, and ports. Ethiopia has invested in building extensive road networks, connecting industrial hubs with regional markets. The Addis Ababa Djibouti Railway Project, one of the largest infrastructure projects in the country, has improved access to port facilities in Djibouti, essential for trade. Additionally, the government has worked to modernize internal transportation and logistics systems to ensure goods can be efficiently transported both domestically and internationally. Energy infrastructure. Reliable and affordable energy is critical for industrial growth, and Ethiopia has made substantial investments in renewable energy. The country is a leader in hydropower generation, with significant plants like the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GERD, set to provide millions of megawatts of electricity to power industries. The government is also exploring solar, wind, and geothermal energy sources to diversify its energy mix. Telecommunications and digital infrastructure. With the rise of digital industries and the need for e-commerce, Ethiopia has also focused on improving telecommunications and digital infrastructure. The country has rolled out high-speed internet in industrial parks and urban areas, aiming to support the growth of digital economies alongside traditional manufacturing. Fourth, key sectors driving industrial growth. Ethiopia's industrialization efforts are focused on several key sectors, with the government prioritizing those that have the potential for high export returns and significant job creation. Textiles and garments. Ethiopia has emerged as one of the most promising textile and garment manufacturing hubs in Africa. The Hawassa Industrial Park, which houses numerous global clothing brands like H&M and PVH, exemplifies this transformation. With its abundant labor force and competitive wages, Ethiopia is now one of the top exporters of textiles and garments to global markets. Leather and leather products. Ethiopia is one of the world's largest exporters of leather, and the government has focused on adding value to this raw material through processing. Leather manufacturing is a high-priority sector, with numerous factories and industrial parks producing footwear, belts, and bags for export. Ethiopia's Ethiopian Leather Industry Development Institute, LIDI, works closely with local manufacturers to boost the sector's value chain. Agribusiness and food processing. Agriculture remains a central part of Ethiopia's economy, and the government has prioritized the development of food processing industries to add value to raw agricultural products. Ethiopia is investing in processing facilities for coffee, tea, and edible oils, aiming to increase the country's share of the global processed food market. Pharmaceuticals and electronics. Ethiopia has recently entered the pharmaceutical and electronics sectors, focusing on manufacturing essential medicines and electronic components. While still in its early stages, this move towards diversifying into high-tech sectors shows Ethiopia's commitment to a diversified industrial base. 5. Foreign direct investment and international partnerships. Ethiopia's industrial transformation has been significantly supported by foreign direct investment, FDI, which has flowed into sectors such as manufacturing, textiles, agriculture, and infrastructure development. FDI in manufacturing. Major multinational companies like Chinese, Turkish, and Indian firms have invested heavily in Ethiopia's manufacturing sector, attracted by the country's competitive labor costs and investment-friendly policies. 6. Human capital development. The success of Ethiopia's industrial awakening depends not only on physical infrastructure and investment, but also on the development of a skilled workforce. Ethiopia's young, dynamic population provides a strong labor force for manufacturing industries, but there are ongoing efforts to ensure that this labor force is equipped with the necessary skills. Vocational training and education. Ethiopia has invested in vocational education and training centers to provide young people with the skills needed for industrial jobs. 7. Environmental sustainability and green industry. Ethiopia's commitment to sustainable development is reflected in its industrialization strategy, which emphasizes green technologies and sustainable practices. Renewable energy and green manufacturing. Ethiopia is leveraging its vast renewable energy resources, particularly hydropower, to power its industries sustainably. The country is also exploring opportunities for green manufacturing, encouraging industries to adopt environmentally friendly practices such as recycling and waste reduction. Looking ahead, Ethiopia's goal is to double its industrial output and become an industrial hub for East Africa by 2030. Continued investment in infrastructure, human capital, and technological innovation will be crucial for the country to achieve these goals. By embracing sustainable industrial practices and fostering a business-friendly environment, Ethiopia is setting the stage for a future that includes long-term growth, diversification, and greater economic stability.